Good morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you're at, ladies and gents. I am Kurojiri, your resident tinkerer and Medarotter, and this is the Medarot News Network, bringing you all the latest developments and happenings with our favorite pet-fighting robot series. And boy, oh boy, are we gonna be eating good today, my friends. In a surprising turn of events, I was actually expecting the official channel to start highlighting stuff kind of precursoring closer to Medarot Day that will be starting that countdown officially as of tomorrow, November 1st, but it looks like I wasn't quite on the mark this time, and honestly, I'm 100% okay with that, because this week we have not one, not two, not three, but 7. You heard it, 7 new bots being introduced into Medarot S. All of them, 2 of which you see here, are very, very well-known and loved models from the anime that anyone will know and love, and it's especially exciting to see them finally join the limelight, pun intended on the official track I'm playing here as a BGM, that are going to be officially joining the game and joining the fight as official models to be found in the game, both between limited pickup and spotlight bots, no less, on top of that. That being said, though, let's go ahead and jump right into what was announced for this week. Just as a precursor, it's not going to be very event-heavy this week, likely because they want to put a lot of spotlights on the new bots this week in particular, and maybe next week we might hear something about an event gearing closer to Medarot Day. But all that aside, let's go ahead and jump into the meaty goodness of that is the new bots we will be seeing this week. Starting that lineup are the 2 new models you see here, Ep.0 Empress Catra, who had been entirely rekitted from her old Transform kit with a new kit and ready-to-go tool of precognition, punishment, blow away, float legs, and the leg ability of through fight. Behind her, we have her ever iconic and lovable henchman bot, also known in the anime with Team Egypt, TTM0 Teki Mamira, with the kits of Charge Drain, Armor Drain, Confusion, Biped Legs, and the leg ability of Revenger. Now, this is already off to a very good start, as anyone who's watched the anime knows these 2 members of Team Egypt incredibly well, despite the fact that it looks like Imagineers trying to veer away from bots using Transform all too often. I'm not 100% sure if that means they're trying to do away with it entirely, or they're just trying to save it for some very special bots down the road, such as, say, Element Mark, or Cosmo Alien, or Unknown Egg. That's just kind of a theory I have going forward from here. But we still have a lot of very exciting news. These 2 are just the first 2 of the 7 that were announced. And just to mention on that, these 2 are the only 2 that are going to be pickup models, which means when their banners close, you may or may not have to wait a while before they float back around again, but they will be part of the game permanently, now that we are putting the Zoids collaboration officially behind us. Now, as if you think this wasn't enough, boy oh boy do I have a sweet treat and a feast for you, because this is, like I said, is only 2 of 7. The other 5 that I will be announcing here shortly are all Spotlight bots, which means they will be added to the permanent pool going forward upon update day on November 2nd, I believe. And starting that lineup of the remaining 7, all of which also are very well-known bots from the anime that everybody knows and loves. And starting that lineup, we have KIL0 Marine Killer with Double Wave, Hyper Wave, Sea Legs, and Continuous P as leg ability. After him, we have LBN0 Le Villain, the Arsene Lupin type, with a kit of Beam, Guard 300, Canceller, Wield Legs, and the Illusion leg ability. Behind him, we have SAB0 Sabotena, the iconic Cactus type, with a kit of Shoot Boost, Double Gatling, Wield Legs, and the G-Loader leg ability. Fourth in line is KMG0 Kamagoemon with Missile, Fire, Gatling, Float Legs, and the leg ability of Adversity. And last but not least, finally joining his twin Gun Desperata, who we've had for a pretty hot minute now, we have WLD0 Wild Harry, the Pistol Revolver type, with a kit of Rifle, Napalm, the second ever instance in the game of Melt Shot, Biped Legs, and the leg ability of Trigger Happy. Now, Again, this is a lot to take in. Honestly, we are all just going collectively bananas in in the community Discord as of this morning with the announcement of this news, because these are a lot of bots to cover that are being introduced all at once. And on top of that, all 5 listed here, like I said, are also spotlights, which means they will be added permanently and can be pulled from at literally any time in any other banner going forward once the update does drop. Stands, of course, Empress Patra and Teki Momira, who, of course, like I said, will be the limited pickups. Now, with Fierce Battles this week, it's not going to be necessarily as exciting in particular, but still some very good bots to be had all the same. Starting that lineup, we have APL-01 Top Gunner, the airplane type from Girls Mission, with a kit of radar, sight, double missile, flight legs, and the leg ability of aim. We also have DOG-0 Cyan Dog with a kit of triple rifle, biped legs, and the leg ability of clairvoyance. And then last but not least, we also have EPI-0 Bone Cracker with heal trap, double sword, float legs, and the leg ability of straight. Now, it looks like in my hasteness to get everything done, I did not put any notes on this particular slide, so I do apologize for that. But just to kind of give an overview on this, all 3 models are very handy one way or another. I do have to say, Top Gunner probably will have the least overall viability, for lack of a better term, for double missile, but given that Silent Leader has been a thing now, that does certainly forgive a portion of her kit. Cyan Dog and Bone Cracker in particular, for conventional rifle and sword attacks, you can never ever go wrong with using, and you can use either of them very reliably, whether as pure sets or as mixed parts. However, if I did have to give an MVP of the week to somebody, because they're all so good, it was honestly kind of tricky to pick, but I still would have to give it to Cyan Dog in particular, given that how wonderful a basic rifle can be for its incredible balance, no real drawback or penalties during heat up or cooldown, and it's a skill you can use basically anywhere with no real drawback, like I said, as one you can fit in the team pretty reliably and more or less basically everywhere. Bone Cracker with sword is also really good too, and Top Gunner for missile if you do need it, but definitely put some effort towards Cyan Dog if you're new or still fairly new to the game and need to add the parts to your collection and your libraries. Now, in terms of other new stuff going on this week, like I said, it is a relatively quiet week to start off November, which I think is still okay, because I was honestly expecting last week to be the only slow week we had. But given that we have not 3, not 4, but 7 additional gacha banners that will be joining the game this week, it's going to be pretty hectic on the Ruby count if you do want to try to collect at least 1 or 2 of these models. But I would encourage that you do skip out on pulling any of the 5 spotlights, given that they're kind of added to the game permanently, and if you decide to go after Empress or Teki Momira, you can probably pull any of the other 5 pretty quickly on top of that. Now, in terms of events that are going on this week, we do have a limited daily dungeon we have going on this week, much like we did this current week with the Yatsukubi Daija. So basically, go in, clear it, earn your rubies, and then you earn your ruby shards. You can walk out a little richer with a stockpile of emergency rubies on hand. On top of that, we also have daily missions coming back as well, much similarly to last week as well, where you can earn additional ruby shards on top of that to build that stock. Because more often than not, you may or may not kind of forget ruby shards are a thing. When you find yourself scrounging for rubies for that last-minute desperate pull in a gacha banner, those will usually come and save your hide when you least expect it as a supplementary count. Just make sure not to make an active habit of spending them all at once. I personally save until I have about 300 or 400 ruby shards before I cash them all in, because usually you only need like 300, which is a free multi-pull at that, at about 10 rubies, about 10 shards per ruby, essentially. On top of that, we are also getting 2 new Super Invasions, of course highlighting the 2 newcomer pickup models, Empress Patra and Teki Momira. No real say on what their modifiers might be, much like it was with previous ones, so do be prepared for that. I will keep the Super Invasion guide updated once they do drop, so if you guys are looking for guides, hints, or tricks on how to combat the 2, I will be able to have you guys covered on that sooner or later. In addition to this, because we are starting an additional new month, we are also getting the first teaser at the new skins that can be earned in online PvP. Last month, of course, we had a lot of spooky themed elements with Jack-o'-lantern Spinag, Frankenstein Evil Rex, and Dracula Bat Goth Bullet. This month in particular, like I said, I'm expecting in the next week or so we'll probably be seeing something larger closer to Medarot Day. But just to kind of set everything up as a precursor to start amping up the hype, this month in particular, we are getting skins for Metabee cross-style, Rokusho cross-style, and a parallel Deuce-style Beastmaster. So we're going back to the old days as well with these three particular models. And on top of that, just as a friendly reminder, it does mean that Metabee, Rokusho, and Beastmaster's banners will be up all month. And it is also worth noting on top of this, that all three models are also capable of tune-up for additional permanent bonuses on top of that. So while I may or may not suggest going after Metabee or Rokusho's banners immediately, since, well, you can kind of get them anytime since they're spotlights, or if you're especially new to the game, you will be able to collect their parts pretty quickly and cash in on these bonuses. And just make sure that you do participate in the online PvP though, because the rewards in there can honestly be incredibly lucrative each week as you participate. And even if you win or lose, doesn't matter, you're still getting something very good out of it. On the community fronts, though, we are still always looking for translators to assist us with any translation endeavors. Right now, current progress is toward finalizing the completion of Medarot 3, which is now 100% fully translated. There is still some work needed to clean that up, inject text, and just do some minor grammatical edits just to make sure everything's working properly. But it is very exciting to hear that yet another game in the series has been officially marked complete, for the most part, I suppose, in the fan translation so that we as a Western community can enjoy it. Currently, efforts after this one will be going towards Medarots 4 and 5, but right now the big effort is being pushed toward 4 and kind of going through the games chronologically after that. That being said, if you are knowledgeable in coding or cleaning or Japanese and have some time on your hands, we are more than appreciative of any efforts that you'd be willing to provide to help see these passion projects to completion. Or, if you find yourself rather illiterate or not quite talentful in that respect, and I'd honestly argue that, my friend, I value every last one of you and think you all are great, but if you feel that's not quite your calling, that's 100% fine too. In the comments below this video, there will be a link to a crowdfunding that my buddy Variant did officially start, so that you can donate to the cause so we can at least commission to have some of the text translated, so we aren't having to do all of it by hand ourselves in-house, which will also very massively ease the load and possibly even get translations out faster based on how much gets donated. That being said, again, if you'd like to donate or if you'd like to help, reach out to me or join our Discord in the link provided below as well. Ask around, we'll get you in touch with the right people to fill you in on what has been done and what still needs done up to this point. Now, in terms of other community stuff going on, just a friendly reminder, this is the final week that Imagineer is hosting the official OriMeta contest on Twitter, using the official hashtags of Medarot and OriMeta, as you see here. So if you are planning to submit anything for the contest, just make sure you do follow the rules listed on that one, such as a 2000 by 2000 pixel resolution, and part needs as well as a signature somewhere on it, of course, so they can mark it as yours, obviously. But do make sure you put those submissions in sooner than later if you want to have something put in for the contest for them to consider. I am very excited to hear who the winners will be, and I'm kind of expecting they're probably going to be announcing the winners closer to Medarot Day or on it, just as a way to help hype up the 26th anniversary coming up. Now, if you find yourself in need of just a little bit more time coming up with your own design, that's 100% fine too, because us in Project Rising Beetle's community Discord, we are hosting our own contest as well. That being said, again, same rules generally apply here, but a little more lenient. There's no motive prompt, there's just some basic requirements here on what you need for each entry, and I am looking forward to seeing what you guys come up with. It has been relatively slow through October, likely because a lot of artist friends are probably going through Inktober and everything like that, which is 100% fine, but this is a friendly reminder that our contest closes on November 21st, so about 2 weeks after the official contest ends. So do make sure you put in those entries and submit them before then. I'm honestly going to keep encouraging you guys to keep pushing for this, because I want to see so many entries from our community engagement that I have to take a whole nother video just to kind of break them all down and look at them, because I just want to be able to marvel over all your wonderful creations and just kind of say a few words on each before I have to deliberate winners of our own community. So friendly reminder on that one, and the official contest as well. If you're planning to submit anything, it's kind of starting to get down to crunch time sooner than later. One last thing I do want to mention, this is just kind of my own musing. Those that follow me on Twitter are rather familiar with this proof of concept I've seen here, but I do want to officially kind of ask and get a YouTube conversation going here. But what do y'all think about the possibility of Medarot S implementing a raid battle, like an online raid battle system into the game? For those that are unaware, basically in this proof of concept here, I did use the final boss from Medarot Duel, Tycon de Rogue. Basically just a big walking wall. Not walking, rather, it's a great big angry wall with turrets, and essentially the whole premise to it is, with the raid battles, it essentially be one very large foe, or one exceptionally powerful one, that would not shuffle across the field like regular bots do, as well as have modifiers like times 50 to HP or something. But here's the catch to it. Not only would these be immensely difficult, but they would actually require coordination of a team. So you're not making your entire team yourself, you have to coordinate with 2 other members at 1 Medarot each to basically team up and build a team together that can take down a super boss. Now, no real saying on what rewards might be for this thing, but I like to believe that it could be a very good way that Imagineer can keep things in Medarot S fresh by introducing new super bosses that are even harder than super invasions or online PvP, as a way to keep content fresh, introduce even more powerful bots and designs, and even do something like limit the amount of times you can challenge it a week. Similar to how, again in my Twitter thread about it, I said similarly to how Honkai Star Rail's Echoes of War only has 3 redeemable boss rewards per week in order to keep it so that people can't farm it indefinitely. I like to believe something similar could be done for Medarot S as well with some time, or with just a little bit of tinkering. But Imagineer, if you are indeed watching me or do tune in every once in a while, this is something that, at least me personally, I would absolutely love to see to help keep things going and keep the community engaged, because we have online PvP with each other, and 2 different methods of that, no less. Why would it be a little of a stretch not to have some kind of online co-op also implemented in the game? Because other gacha games have done it as well, and I feel it could be something very interesting to add a new mechanic and twist to Medarot S as a whole and keep the community engaged. But that is essentially up to you guys. Again, just start that conversation in the comments below. And just a reminder, I do read those, and I just want to hear what you guys' thoughts are on this, or even any tips or tricks or suggestions you might have if they were to implement a system like this. In addition to this, on the weekly art highlights here on the MNN, I really can't let Halloween go by without highlighting somebody spooky this week. And of course, I did have to highlight everybody's favorite zombie dog here by Twitter user MNKShiki with his ZBD0 Dead Dog design. Honestly, I can't say it enough, it's arguably one of my favorite Ori metas introduced in Medarot S currently. And it kinda sucks I've not collected all his parts personally just yet, but I still absolutely adore the personality that he's given the design here. Especially with this piece here with him kind of costuming as a witch or a vampire here with a happy Halloween theme. I love that. Wonderful work. Highly recommend giving MNKShiki a follow if you'd like to see more of your favorite zombie dog as well. And this one here by a new friend of ours in our Discord and on Twitter at Iron Clark decided to come up with a bunch of really fun designs based on other franchises in Medarot form. This one in particular, based off named Spinner, kind of based off Spider-Man of Miles Morales, and I love the creativity you put into here as well, even down to the part names in the kit, no less. There with Colonel, Leg Trap Thunder, and a leg ability of Clairvoyance. A lot of really nice nods there to what Miles Morales had at his disposal in his version and iteration of Spider-Man. So, wonderful work to you as well. I really like what you do, and I like your creativity with that as well. So do keep that up, and definitely give Iron Clark a follow as well if you'd like to see more of this wonderful art in your feeds, both in our community Discord and on Twitter as well. But with all that being said, as always, I do appreciate you all for stopping by, just as you always do. Like I said, it has been a relatively quiet but very surprising week, no less. If none of the models in the gacha appeal to you this week, that's perfectly fine. Take this as another rest week, because I highly expect things are going to be only getting more and more heated from here the closer we get to Medarot Day. But with that being said, if you'd like to know more, you can follow us below on Facebook at the Medarot News Network page, and the Metabots Forever community on there that I also run and manage. You can also join our Discord in the link provided and in the comments below if you want to keep an even closer ear to the ground on the action. This includes any new merchandise, announcements, fan art from the community, my weekly episodes for breakdowns and analytics, anything in particular. The Discord community is going to be the first place you hear any news before it goes anywhere else whatsoever. You can also reach out to me personally on Twitter at Isagamikura, so if you have any questions or feedback or comments, or would love just to stop in and say hello, I leave my DMs open for that very reason, and don't really plan to close them anytime soon for that same reason as well. So don't be a stranger, stop on in and say hello, and we can make something happen. In addition to this, if you're a streamer, VTuber, or YouTuber who somehow stumbles across my channel and would love to have a collaboration sometime, whether that means having you here on my channel with me as a guest host, or me stopping in on yours for a friendly chat or a game, or even something like that, I would love to coordinate with you. So reach out to me as well in those DMs, and we can most certainly make something happen and coordinate some schedules thereof. Lastly, do give these wonderful friends of mine a follow in the community as well, for the Medarot community between Western and Eastern friends. My friend Sadant Voiro, who does a lot of wonderful work capturing a lot of gameplay footage, meta change from earlier games, or even just gameplay in general of all the older Medarot titles, and posts them not just on Twitter, but also on YouTube as well. I love the work he does, and I especially, and I have very big respect for the commitment you have to that, just as I do, breaking down the news. Do also give Moen, my dear friend Moen, a follow as well at the Metabots fan account, the unofficial fan account on Twitter as well, who, much like me, likes to share a lot of art or concepts, as well as official news from the main Twitter pages, Medarotcha and Medarot-S, and just kind of helps be that bridge, much like I do, helping keep the community informed with anything to do with Medarot. But, with all that being said, I do appreciate you all for stopping by, just as you always do. And until next time, this is your host, Kura Isagami of the Medarot News Network, signing out.